How's it going, everyone? Jacob Rothenberg here. And on the podcast in this episode, we have the unofficial leader of the VAs in the nonfiction community. We have John Smith. Welcome to the channel, John.
Thank you for having me, Jacob. It's great to be here.
Yeah, awesome. So I've known you for the past, I think, 3.5 years, or at least I've known of you. And people really see you in the community or have seen you in the community, especially amongst VAs, because I pay attention. A lot of VAs look up to you as like the leader of the pack when it comes to how business is going on Amazon or like how to find people in terms of like sourcing jobs and such. So I thought it'd be great to speak with you and just get your insights as the leader of the VAs in the nonfiction community. So welcome.
Yes, thanks. Yeah. So first of all, like this is my first time, like I'm doing any kind of like public interview or it's my first time personally on YouTube. So wow, like just bear with me for a minute first. So yeah. I've met a lot of people throughout my career and basically I'm just an outspoken guy. I like to participate in forums. I've been doing that even before I got into the business. I like forums like threads and even before Reddit got popular, there was like Dig and all these other communities. So yeah, apparently like I guess that when I got outspoken, yeah, people saw me as like someone to follow because I guess there was no like leader back then. It was pretty monotonous. Like they just do their job and then that's it. There's no like discussion about like what are we doing or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, so you're really old school. I remember Dig when I was like, it had to be over 10 years ago. I was doing Black Hat stuff too, like getting fake templates on my Dig stuff. Like, I was a kid back then, so whatever.
Dig was awesome. I love that site.
Oh, yeah, man. I love that site too. But how did you transition into discovering Amazon and Kindle publishing and getting into that circle?
Well, it's a long story because actually like about maybe 12, like 13 years ago, my first entry was affiliate marketing. Like I just wanted to make my own money basically. Like, I only had one office job. I was a website designer. That was like my first passion. And then, it turned out okay. It was good. The pay was low, but I just wanted to do something like online. So I looked around, I got into affiliate marketing. And then, what's this? The thing with affiliate marketing was like in the Philippines, because I'm from the Philippines. I grew up in the U.S. and affiliate marketings back then worked pretty hard to come by because of the payment methods. Like there was just PayPal and other sites. They would like pay commissions through like checks and stuff. So I found this one site that was free to join, and then they taught me how to set up like an autoresponder, a capture page, like all the old school stuff. Like there was no social media yet. So I joined that and like I managed to like build up like a list of like 500 leads. I advertised in forums. I put like my little like website and my signature and stuff like that. And then one day, like while I was promoting, instead of getting like this lead, I got offered a job instead. And she wanted me to write articles. So that was like my first entry to the writing community. Like I started writing like SEO articles, search engine optimized articles for like 7 years.
Did you get that job through the Digital Point forums by any chance?
No, it was a classified site like in the Philippines, CebuClassifieds.com. It's similar to like Backpage, if you remember that. You remember Backpage?
Yeah. USA Backpage is for porn and escorts.
Yeah, that's how it shut down. That's how it shut down. But that was like the place to like that was like advertised as the place to like advertise your like capture pages and stuff.
Yeah.
That was like the thing back then. So yeah, I got into writing then and after 7 years, a friend of mine contacted me for an opportunity. I didn't even know what it was, but she said like it's just some guy who writes books and stuff, and she said like maybe I can write books for him too. And then ever since, like he's my friend on Facebook, so I'm sure he might watch this too. But yeah, he brought me in the team, and then I learned about the whole Kindle group and I, how it works and how I had to make a dummy profile. And that was like the birth of John Smith. So my entry into the community, and I joined all these groups, including Stefan's K Money mastery group for VAs, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and his brother, I think, Andreas or something.
Yeah, I'm just
Book promo club. Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. So I joined his community too, and that's it. Yeah, that's how I got in.
Okay, cool. So you definitely have experience, and you've been around since, I guess, the advent of online marketers getting into self-publishing.
Right.
Um, People probably know VAs to be in the most common capacity of providing reviews for products, whether it's actual physical products or intangible ebooks on Amazon. Is it fair to say, like in the KDP community, VAs mostly just know how to do review swaps, or what's going on there?
Well, I haven't been active in that like for the past year, but then I'm still a member of the chat groups, and yeah, the status quo is pretty much there, but it seems to have shifted to the audiobook area, which is a little bit like green compared to like the oversaturated nonfiction, ebook and paperback community. Like it's so blown up right now. Like there's so many publishers like flooding in, and it's like the same VAs, and like how strict Amazon has gotten with the review, making reviews, like there's like a requirement and stuff like that. So it's pretty much stagnated, but there's some familiar faces still that are still in it,
For
mostly
sure.
from yeah.
And you're aware with like VAs redeeming promo codes for the audiobooks, right? And
I'm
all that stuff.
I'm not that familiar. Like I was familiar with the old system where you have to email for your codes, and then I think Audible changed that into some kind of more computerized system where you get your codes on your back portal or something. I'm not quite familiar with that because that's the
Yeah,
time when I got busy. Yeah.
right. So while you were gone, what has been going on is that, yeah, you would get it through your portal on ACX, but get this, even though the codes give free copies of your book, people were not just doing it for the reviews,
Okay.
because even if someone redeemed the code for free to get the ebook, the audiobook for free, the publisher would still get the royalty sale of the
Okay.
audiobook. So that was
Oh.
such a broken system. Can you imagine redeeming 100 codes and getting $6 per code redemption? That's $600 of pure profit for what? Nothing. And you can imagine how crazy that was abused by a lot of publishers.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right.
So I think there was some opportunity there with VAs probably asking for like $1 per code redemption or whatever. But
Mm.
yeah, but then Amazon shut that down for books published after March 26.
Hmm.
And I don't know what really VAs are doing now, except I have literally 10 VAs a day trying to enter the Publishing Evolution, my Facebook group. And it's like, dude, I have too many VAs already, like in the community. Like, what's going on? What are VAs
Well,
needing these days?
well, some VAs are like they're kind of like budding publishers in a way, because that's the thing with like a VA. Like VAs are like sponges. Like there's VAs that just do their job. They're just like they're a little like so focused on doing the task and getting paid, and then it goes over and over. But like there are some like including myself, like they're like sponges. Like you want to absorb the company around you and how the operations work, and like what the client does on their end. It's kind of like a miniature course, so to speak. Like I didn't take any paid courses of anybody, like, but then I can kind of already get an idea of how the system works. Like, just from my perspective, like I'm sure there's like some secret stuff that, that's behind those like $2,000 courses. Like, I don't know, but right. I don't know.
Not for
Oh,
non-fiction.
yeah.
Everything's on YouTube. I mean, maybe in 2017 there were secrets in the courses, but now everything's on
Right.
YouTube.
Yeah. That's my kind of inner skepticism of like high ticket courses. Like, I don't want to offend anyone, like, but yeah, that's like being a virtual assistant. Like if you're aware of your surroundings and you assess like what you're doing, what your company mission and vision is, and you can also, maybe you could do your own thing. Like a good example is drop shipping. Like VAs normally start by managing their own Shopify store or their Amazon FBA or something like that. And then, after a while, you might want to get curious, like, how much money is my clients making or whatever. And then they join these groups and stuff. And
Yeah.
I guess they want to learn, and, they want to lurk. They want to watch the videos. You might not know it in your group or what. I mean, it got me curious. Like, that's why I joined your group too. Like, you advertised the Publishing Evolution as a free, like, course. There was like a bunch of videos. You worked hard to make those videos. I really appreciate those videos, by the way. It's awesome course. And, it's this, it kind of goes back to my past when with affiliate marketing, like I never joined those MLMs where you have to pay to get in, like those matrix system. No, it's the free stuff that appeals to me. And I think it appeals to certain VAs too. Like maybe they want a job, maybe they want to learn how to build their own business too. You never know. So that's my perspective on it.
Yeah, I've been in contact with a few VAs in the publishing community that actually help streamline the processes with outsourcing, writing, editing, yada, yada. And a lot of them are actually more competent than the actual publishers that are in the community. So I want to see progression with VAs from doing just review swaps and just thinking so much bigger with, with making themselves available as, publishing managers, operations managers, and legitimately providing services that can help publishers like just streamline the business and like help delegate time and resources towards, running the business away from the publisher and getting paid for it.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic opportunity because there's a lot of people that would message me, like former colleagues of mine, like, they were so versed with the review swap thing. Because the appeal with the review swap thing is, it's really easy to do. Like, you don't have to have perfect English apparently. And that's okay because, there are some real reviewers that, they might be from like the UK or they might have like Spanish backgrounds, and they would like post, maybe their English is not perfect or whatever, but but they're objective to the review. Like that's the main purpose of a review. It's not about perfect grammar. It's about sharing your opinion on something. And I also want to train them to be like that, like show some passion. Like if you're going to be reviewing books, you just read it, absorb the knowledge, skim through it, and post your thoughts, your honest thoughts objectively, like just so you get an experience out of it. So and people, not everyone sees it that way. They just see it as like, okay, I'll just read this and then put a review or whatever, and they just see it as so easy, and they don't want to get out of that shell. Like they think that they're not good at anything else. So that's one of my goals, is to hopefully inspire people, like you can do so much more if only the opportunities are there.
And I really think that 2020 is that turning point for VAs, because it's just, I don't see it as financially viable to provide review swaps, because the reviews get deleted so quickly, so often. You're going to come into conflict with a publisher who is not going to want to pay for deleted reviews, even though you technically did the work.
Yeah. It's.
I mean, the only person that consistently provided reviews that would never get deleted was Nasja, because she had all the fucking accounts. Other than Nasja, everyone else sucks at doing review swaps.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually thought like it was gonna die out like maybe last year. Every year, like people are saying like this is the end of it, and then it just goes on and on. Because like I don't know, but they're actually pretty clever. Like the community, they're pretty resourceful. I have to give them that. Like they're survivors. They're survivors.
I mean, in terms of resourceful, whether that's good or bad, like the new scheme that I've heard of in the Italian community, I would have never thought this up. So now people are paying VAs to buy the audiobook, and after buying the audiobook, leaving a review, and then after that, charging back the audiobook, getting a refund, and returning it back to the publisher.
Yeah, I thought I've seen something like that. Yeah, I guess you said it. Yeah.
It's such bullshit, like dude. Like, how do people come up with this shit? I don't know, man. It's just so dirty.
I don't know, like, because they don't really see like the long term. They're always after like the short term. Like they're trying to milk up every loophole until like there's nothing left, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't like. I'm not making this a bash fest and trying to be toxic. But it's like these really big publishers that talk about the long term perspective and running this as a business. But you're really putting your account on the line every damn time you do this. it's like you're really playing with fire at that point.
They're really playing with fire. I don't know. Like before, like I would say like, yeah, okay, they want me to do this, and I was like, dude, like, you sure you want to be doing this? Like, like you want to put your only publisher account on the line, like, and then like I think some people they have multiple accounts and maybe they get their relatives on board. I don't know what they're doing, but I just for me like it's just not worth it. Like my publisher, I only publish like one book. I'm like so like snail pace with the publishing thing because I just want to take my time and do it right. Like I don't want to do any shortcuts or whatever loopholes they're doing. Like I don't know. I mean, it might work for them. Like they might get the short term and maybe they might use their earnings to invest in something more legitimate. I don't know. I mean, it's their business, but
Yeah,
I don't want to. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
I think you're right. And, I think the real truth is, John, because if I was thinking in perspective with how we were publishing in 2017 versus now, in 2017, we could hire a writer for $1.50 per 100 words. All we would need is a 10,000 word book. So that's like $150 to produce a book. And that's our total production cost, $5 per cover. Put it out. You just have to make enough sales to recoup that $150. Now, it's been a lot more competitive where now publishers are putting out these 30,000 word books. They're using these ghostwriting companies that charge up to, I think, $3.20 per 100 words. And, factoring the cover, that's now $1,000 you have to seek a return on your investment with in sales. So, trying to make an ROI with $150 versus $1,000 is a whole other ball game. And you have to be able to, I think, offset your losses in any way possible. And I think that's why people resort to such tactics to make up for, those possible losses with publishing books.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. I mean,
I think
that's why things are going upward, but go ahead.
Yeah. But I think, with all this like building business, I think some people kind of lose sight of like the other side, which is the reader, like the customer, the buyers of your actual book. Like, if you want to be writing like a book, you don't want to be like, pleasing your client or something. You want to be pleasing the reader. And I think that objective is kind of lost in a way because like I can't say it for everyone. Like maybe there are some guys that are doing something different, but when I read like the books, like when I was a reviewer, like there's just so much regurgitated like content. Like they just get some free stuff from the web and then they make these like awful paraphrased, like rewrites just to beat the plagiarism detectors. And I noticed that's a habit of a lot of the Upwork writers too. They just, it's just pretty like unfortunate that there's no original thought. And then they just put it out there and maybe they be making like $1,000 per month. But what are you actually doing for the community? Like Amazon's Kindle community. And if you're going to be like doing it for Kindle Unlimited, it's like you're going to be part of that Kindle Unlimited ecosystem. And, it kind of would give like the customer a bad insight if they read too many bad books. Because there are some books that I would come across, some nonfiction books. They would like give it a 1-star review because not only because the book is bad. And then they would say something like, like Amazon's Kindle system like sucks, like there's no curation or whatever. Because like, yeah, their content guidelines aren't being properly like enforced. I guess they're not so strict about it. I don't know if you noticed that. Like there's some really terrible books that are still being sold today.
Of course. And whether that's books or even physical products, from what I read in an article, I think 50% of all Amazon reviews are fake across even physical products. So I just bought this light for my video streams, and it had a 1,000 5-star reviews, but had it not lived up to the expectations, I'd be pissed if this light didn't actually work. Thank goodness it does. But really, and I think consumers are catching on about the reviews. But hey, and look, too what happens on Upwork. You were actually our manager, our operations manager for our nonfiction agency Emporium, and it was such a hassle to deal with all these writers on Upwork that were supposedly good, that had good test manuscripts, but they plagiarized. It's just such a pain in the ass to manage a nonfiction company.
Yeah, that was definitely experience, like a really good learning experience because, I saw Upwork like as this like you know, it's so hard to get in Upwork nowadays. Like I'm a member of a freelancing group too, and there's a lot of people looking for jobs, and not everyone makes it to Upwork because they have this like, I don't know, they kind of changed, like they have like this screening system. You have to have an interview. Me, I got in pretty easy. Like I like joined like, I don't know, more like maybe 5 years ago or 6 years ago, around the time when I started my Kindle virtual assistant course and stuff. But yeah, I thought that they vetoed like the applicants really well, that all of the people there are like good. But then I later found out that the fake review thing kind of spilled over to the Upwork community, and not just that, also the fake profiles.
Yeah.
So that's like a big bummer for Upwork, and you know, I hope they can, you know, kind of be more vigilant in cracking on those people and getting better guys on board.
Yeah, and it definitely affected us when it came to like vetting writers and working with nonfiction orders and all the hassles. So nowadays, I still run a writing company. Most people don't know it, but it's just for romance fiction.
That's
We
good.
vet the writers very heavily, and it's really hard to plagiarize romance fiction, as you know, you
Yeah,
have to
true.
give the writer an outline and follow the chapter by chapter plot, and so that's really hard to plagiarize and fake. But in any case, yeah, I'm glad that we're done with nonfiction writing, and yeah, even on Fiverr and Upwork, anywhere really, you're dealing with a lot of fake reviews and fake portfolios. So it can be
It's everywhere
it's
basically.
very hit or miss to find a good writer, and it's a blessing to find someone solid who's not just
Mm,
good but also on time and reliable with lead time.
right. Mm.
So yeah, if I may ask, what are you doing this year? What's going on with you this year in the VA community, and what you've got going on overall?
Well, I manage a couple of virtual assistant groups, and you know, I just check on them. I would engage with some publishers from time to time. They would ask me advice. You know, I like engaging with people for free, like, you know, giving them my insights. You know, I'm really humbled to see like people messaging me every day, whether it's a virtual assistant. You know, there are a lot of people come from all over, from different countries. Like they're all talking to me. I really appreciate, you know, those discussions. So you know, it's great. That's what I like about being a freelancer. Like I'm not tied to some 9 to 5. I can just talk to people. And yeah, I'm also writing books for people and managing and doing some other virtual assistant work, because basically like I'm just saving up, you know, after the pandemic and stuff, just saving up, hoping to start my own thing. I haven't really figured out what it's going to be, if it's going to be like a writing company or maybe something, but it's definitely something that I want to like take more people with me along the ride, like my former colleagues. Like I want to get them to work and get the passionate guys out of their monotonous schedule and do something, you know, good for the community. So that's like my eternal goal.
Yeah, I actually had an interview a few weeks ago with a publisher by the name of Juan Bourne. Perhaps you
Oh
know.
yeah, yes I do.
Yeah, and he came out with a program that helps teach entrepreneurs how to scale up using a staff, building staff, building a culture that
Right.
promotes a positive atmosphere and attentiveness, working with staff so that they don't get neglected and put forth a low morale and such. And with that, there is actually right now, a demand for like operational managers to help publishers run their business. So publishers are looking for ways to delegate tasks such as outsourcing, talking to writers, editors, formatters, and so forth, and streamlining the business. So, we're not slave traders or anything like that. I'm not getting a
Oh no,
commission
no.
for any of this shit.
I never
but,
would have viewed them as like.
but would it be fair to say if someone in the Philippines or in Bangladesh can make a good living, let's say 500 a month US dollars, I think that's a decent living in PI, right? If someone can make 500 a month, helping a publisher legitimately run their business and providing value that way, wouldn't that be great for both the VA remotely working and for the publisher looking to relieve some time?
Well, yeah, I suppose I'd have to survey them, because VAs they're so dynamic. Like it's so hard to put a VA in like a box. There's so many subcultures in the virtual assistant community. Like like I know like there are some that charge like $20 per hour or whatever, because there's like a group, like a freelancer group in the Philippines, like they're kind of like on like the culture revolves around like how to put more value into yourself and not like let other people see you as some like third country, worker or something like that. Like
I agree
they
with
don't
that.
want,
I'm Filipino
right.
too. I get it. Filipinos can be looked down
Yeah.
upon, like in
Yeah.
third world
They're trying
setting.
to break out of that mold. So yeah, I
Yeah,
have to survey with the Bangladesh community. I guess it's a little different, but I also want them to be like, they're also virtual assistants. I don't want to like put a
sure.
country on everyone. So
Yeah,
I
I know.
want
I'm trying to
everyone
not be fucking
to
racist, but you get
yeah,
racist very
yeah,
fast talking about
right.
gays in other countries. But yeah, I think everyone. If look, one of the best VAs I ever worked with was from Bangladesh, and he knows more
Right.
about publishing
Mm,
than most publishers ever. Period. So,
mm,
if someone has the skills and can warrant being paid a certain rate, that's all fair and good, right? Regardless of where they're from.
right.
So, if there is that opportunity for someone that's motivated, driven, and ambitious to make 500 a month for
Yeah,
working a
that's a
publisher,
yeah.
why
Yeah,
not?
for someone who's review swapping, yeah, that would be a good starting point. And if they see like opportunity to grow, because for me, like I'm okay with like a small rate, but if there's opportunity to grow and to learn and do all these things for the team, like there's a solid vision and good potential for growth, then yeah, I can go on board with that. I
Yeah,
would recommend people to go on board with that. Yeah.
yeah, because you never know what if you one day the operation grows, you're managing a team of an agency of writers and editors and such, and you go
Yeah.
from being a VA to being like a general manager online,
Right.
making 2,000 a month. It can happen.
Yeah, it can happen.
So why not? I think
Right. Yeah. That's a great thing. Yeah. I hope more people get exposed to that.
yeah. So if for anyone listening, if comment below if you're still listening by now, comment below if you're interested in perhaps interviewing some VAs that can help you run your business. I don't make a cent off this. I'm just linking VAs and publishers together and seeing what happens.
That's good.
And
That's
maybe we
good.
can spread this video to the VA community as well and generate some feedback and interest and see where this goes.
Great.
Cool. So, hey, while we're on here, do you have any questions for me and what's going on in the publishing world since you've been out for a little bit?
Well, I'm curious, like, how is the audiobook community and how is the fiction community? That's probably where I'm a little bit in the blind area.
Yeah, so the audiobook community right now is flooded. So since you've been gone this year, some courses have really taken off online and they heavily emphasize audiobooks. So there's this huge influx of nonfiction publishers trying to put up audiobooks, and it's really bogged down the ACX system. So where it usually took 2 to 3 weeks to submit a book and have it live on the audible.com store, it can take literally 3 or 4, even 5 months to go live with a book, which is insane.
Okay.
So it's been bogged down. And yeah, people are still redeeming codes that they had before March 26, but now there's really no incentive to hire a VA out for codes after that date. So that opportunity has passed us. So for nonfiction, I don't think review swaps are really going to be used at all. So I think VAs have to evolve and find other ways of providing value, whether it's white hat or black hat in some capacity. But in fiction, that's where there's a lot of opportunity because in fiction, there is actual internet marketing expertise that is needed to like run newsletters, promotions, newsletter swaps between other authors and such, even managing Facebook groups, pages, and and there's opportunity for that as well. And there are PAs in that community, but there's certainly
Okay.
room for others who are ambitious that need work. So there's opportunity there as well. And one thing, linking back to nonfiction, and I was talking about this with Sean Dolwett.
Okay.
There's publishers now who have really upped their game. They're using social media marketing to promote their books. And they've developed Facebook groups and Facebook pages, but they don't have the time or they don't have the motivation to manage these groups. So I think there's also opportunities for VAs to run these groups, do daily postings, and get paid for it and just maintain it monthly.
Mhm. And those are the people that they're already expanding outside of Amazon. Is that correct?
Yes, so whether it's ads on platform or off platform, and these are publishers that are already making 5 figures a month. Usually, like Sean's doing very well, and
Absolutely.
others, they can afford to pay a VA, a stipend monthly for such services.
Yeah, I'm really inspired by Sean's work. He had quite a journey. I didn't really, watch his YouTube channel, but I understand he had like a up and down roller coaster journey. So I suggest you to all the viewers, like you should check out his content. He has a great story, and I think he's doing really, really well.
Definitely. I think in the nonfiction self-publishing community, Sean Dalwet is either the greatest publisher in the community or is just the most loved. So I think he's just an awesome
Definitely.
guy overall.
I'm a fan.
I'm a fan too. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, is there anything that you'd like to say either to the publishing community or to the VA community before we wrap it up?
Well, for the publisher community, I would just say, focus on your customers too, not just your bottom line, and if you're making like 5-figure income, try to use it, as a way to like break into give back to the community by, producing great content. Maybe you want to work on, like if it's your formatting, maybe you can make some improvements there or anything like that. Find their attention to detail. Like if I had like 5-figure income or whatever, like I would be so meticulous with my craft. Like I want to make it like really, really good. Like if I'm going to make a book cover, like, I'm going to show it to people. Like, what do you think of this? Like, you think this is not just something that will attract clicks or whatever, but that's something that, like you want the customer to put it on your bookshelf, that kind of like thing. I mean, you look at all the New York Times bestsellers and this website that they would showcase like the top covers and stuff like that. Like once you reach a milestone, you should try to like set a new goal. Like, wouldn't it be great if someone from your group is like a New York Times bestseller? Like, wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, I mean, we had Rolo Tomasi join the Evolution group today, so
yeah,
he doesn't count. But yeah, to have a self-publisher do that, it hasn't happened yet. In fiction, the highest I've gone is number 12, but that's so far away from number 1, so far away. Maybe we'll have a number 1 ranking self-publisher one day. Who knows?
Yeah, I really hope so. I'm gonna be super proud to be just a part of that group. Like, that's more inspiring to me than just someone who makes like 5 or 6-figure income through whatever sorcery they're doing or whatever. Like, and for the VA, like, I think for the VA, I think you should just be a sponge, not just be a worker. Try to absorb yourself into the company. Be aware of your surroundings, be aware of what you're doing, because you never know, like, even if you're in a low paying job, like you're developing skills, and those skills could be useful later down the line by, a future client, and not just skills, but also a certain combination of skills. Cause like me, I started as a website designer, and then I got into writing. Like I didn't plan to be a writer. Like I didn't even know what I was going to be doing. Like I thought I was just going to be programming and stuff like that. But then, when other people might view you like in a different way. So I used my experience in website design and graphics design to write articles. And then my experience with articles led me to the Kindle community, where now I'm writing books. And then, maybe, and then from my writing experience, now I'm managing, like a publishing company or whatever. So you should always look forward and be aware of what you're doing right away, not just being focused on doing what you're being told to do and then getting paid and then being stuck in that loop. So I hope people can break out of that loop, maybe take a few risks, like trust your instinct, and hopefully you can, don't worry about the money, it's going to come later. Just focus on doing good stuff for the people around you. Because for me, like, feedback from people and connecting with people is so much more special to me than the money that you earn. For me, like, I'm sure for you too. Like I know you also like building communities and stuff. It feels great when you started as like some guy who's writing a fidget spinner book, and then like years later you're speaking at a conference. I mean, that must be really, really cool, I'm sure.
Well, it was my conference, but yeah. Well, yeah, to that, look, of course, money is cool. We all need more money and we're all
Right,
in this
right.
for the money. But at some point, like, money can only fulfill you so much. You actually want to, like, contribute and do something
Right.
for
Hmm.
whether it's the publishing community or just like for whoever overall. And as you said, other than, beyond just developing skills and not being so like honed in on tunnel vision on like just doing review swaps, I think
Right,
also
right,
VAs have to realize they're also building relationships with publishers that they interact with. So like you and I, John, we have a working relationship that we've cultivated over the years. And I had that relationship, or at least prior relationship, with a couple other VAs too. And I think that if VAs are just more personable, maybe they have postings or they just put themselves out there in a way that makes themselves interesting or provides value to publishers, that's how they can cultivate leads and get a lot of more opportunities to make money and do tasks and just really make a good living off of
right.
publishing in some capacity. So I think that's what VAs can work on next.
Okay, yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, man. That's really good advice for anyone. But yeah, man. So it was really cool to have you on the channel. I think it's just really cool to have like the leader of VAs on here. And, I'm still gonna call you that. And
I appreciate the unofficial label. Well, I didn't know that people like see me as that. Like that, I'm just some forum contributor.
dude,
Really.
every
Like,
time you make a post, you get 200 likes from all the VAs. So you're the leader. No one
I
gets
guess,
a response like that. But
well,
yeah.
yeah.
It was also finally good to talk to you after all these years, and we'll definitely always be in touch and working together in some capacity. So it was great to have you here, man.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I really had fun with it. I was really nervous at first, but it's fun. I like this stuff.
Yeah, man. So
And best wishes to your channel. I really hope you get more people on board, and it really takes off, inspires people.
it's taking off. So we've got over 3,000 subscribers, and it's growing.
Great.
So we'll just keep up the good work. And guys, we will see you later. Take care.